We've heard from residents from all over the county who are angry about Thrive and fearful what it means for the county, for their neighborhoods, as you mentioned. To those listening and watching, if you're frustrated and concerned, I get it. I believe fundamentally that housing is a human right, and I support most, if not all, of the policy goals that are in the housing chapter that we're about to discuss, especially the need for and the value of mixed income communities, which is really at the heart of what this chapter is about and what the goal here is and continues to be. I also believe that our general plan should and must be a high-level strategic vision, not an implementation document. That's why from the beginning of the discussion, I've urged us to review Thrive before jumping into any specific legislative implementation tools. It's difficult to implement a vision before we've actually agreed on it, and it's challenging to get the type of broad-based buy-in we need to make significant changes if we've created an impression that the outcome has already been decided. Our residents have at times received mixed messages. Most of us have stated, as we are here today and as the packet notes, that Thrive is a vision document, setting general policy goals for the next 30 years. But the continued work on attainable housing strategies at the planning department and the list of actions sent over to us with Thrive have created some skepticism in the community. Many support Thrive as a visionary document and many of the recommendations in it, but take some issue with some of the verbiage that implies approval of specific actions rather than a broad-based vision for how the county should grow over the next several decades. That's certainly true as it relates to the list of actions that are part of the appendix, a list that has been presented as a roadmap of predetermined actions, creating some understandable confusion that this once in a generation exercise is in fact a fait accompli. It's virtually impossible to discuss the directions at the same time we're deciding on the destination. That's why I keep reiterating that process matters, that transparency and consistency in our process is what builds public trust. We need to do what we say we're doing because our words matter, especially when crafting a generational document like the general plan. I want to be crystal clear, the Thrive document we're reviewing now does not legislate anything. It does not implement anything. Implementation of specific policies requires a bill or a zoning text amendment or a functional plan. The work being done on attainable housing strategies at planning is not even before us. Nothing has been sent over, and we're not reviewing or approving the list of actions. They will not be adopted with Thrive. I really do appreciate, Ms. McMillan, your packet pointing out some of the tweaks in the language for us to consider, particularly the language from Chapter 3. And for the background information you provide on the housing element and our COG resolution. It's particularly helpful to point out the parallels between the document we're discussing today and the documents approved and adopted by previous councils. As Ms. Wright has noted here before this committee in our discussions about Thrive multiple times, we are really moving forward with ideas in Thrive that build upon agreed upon principles which have had broad consensus in the past. I appreciate the work that has gone into this generational document. The planning staff, planning board, the council staff all deserve a tremendous amount of credit for all of the efforts over 2+ years of work. I also appreciate the passionate advocacy on all sides of these issues. We owe it to everyone involved to get this process right, to be clear and consistent with what this document is and what it isn't, to build broad consensus around the vision we have for the county over the next 30 years. And then, once we've gotten the process right, once we've built consensus around the vision for where we want to go, let's work through the details of exactly how, when, and with what specific tools we plan to get there. Thank you, and I look forward to today's discussion.